Hello and welcome back to SourceFedNerd with your daily dose of table talk, where we talk about questions, topics, things you work. Oh my gosh, the table shook. On Twitter, Facebook, or on reddit.com/r/SourceFed. My name's Philip DeFranco.
I'm Trisha Hirschberger.
And I am Joe Beretta.
Yeah.
I love that sometimes you can't tell that it's just a crumpled up piece of paper. It looks like a custom graphic.
Looks so professional when you watch the episode.
Boom, from Carlos Ferreira, at Ed Carl on the Twitter, says, your opinion on the rise of gaming channels, PewDiePie, Captain Sparkles, Team Crafted, is it good and will it endure?
What I love is I've met Captain Sparkles, and you'd expect with such a crazy name that he'd be like, "Bobbity-boo!
I'm a Captain Sparkles!
Captain Sparkles!
Glitter!
And he's just like really chill and cool. Oh,
Missed. Damn.
you keep missing.
I know. I get close. I hate it sometimes. No, I haven't met any of them, but I know that they just own the world right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes you can just, like, for me, it's like if I start to watch that stuff, I just get in the zone. And it's like, it's one of those things where hours have gone by and you didn't even realize.
I can't really watch a lot of the gaming channels. I can watch stuff here and there, like when the gamers all like get hands-on of like Battlefield 4 or like the new Call of Duty. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna check that out, and I want to hear their opinions and like their play styles and kind of just look at that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't watch Pootie. Every now and then I'll go and watch like one of his like scare montages, and that's what I'm into. I'm into like
Those are
I'm into the
fun.
highlight cuts, and then like because I won't watch Toby games. I
Like
love
a straight
Toby.
on marathon game you can't watch. I can't watch that either.
Yeah, I mean,
Depends what it is and who the commentator
yeah,
is.
some people can definitely hold it. Like my little sister is in love with Pootie. She's in love with Toby. She's in love with the Yogscast guys.
Yeah.
Like she watches it all the time,
All of it.
and then sometimes she'll just watch it while playing the same game. And I'm like, what are you doing?
It's I'm
But
in the
she's
same
into it.
boat. I don't watch gaming channels because I don't understand the appeal. But that being said, I understand why other people.
Oh, totally.
And that's the way YouTube has
Right.
always been. When YouTube started, there's a lot of things, a lot of people that have been number 1, 2, 3 most subscribed over the past 10 years. Whereas like, I don't get it. It boggles my mind, but I do understand that there's a market out there that other people will just dive into, and I just personally don't dive into watching other people play video games.
And it's not
I'd rather play video games.
Yeah, it's not a bash by any
No.
means. What I mean is, like, when I was growing up, I would watch G4, and my favorite thing was to, like, watch X-Play and be like, oh, this is so awesome to, like, watch Adam Sessler and or anyone play a video game. Like, and this is just the oversaturation of that content.
That
And it's like
times
the
a
new
million.
it's the new hot thing, but it's also like the new second channel. You know how people used to have like their
The
vlog
vlog
channel?
channels, yeah.
Now
Oh,
people
yeah.
are just like, here's my channel and my gaming channel.
Hi, Steve. Steve, do you watch
Oh.
gaming channels? You watch a little PewDiePie?
Of course, Steve.
So I think like, you watch them kind of. You've
I
We're on
do.
the
I
other side
actually-
of the building. You came here specifically for that bit.
it's
Liar.
a good bit.
Well, you don't poop here. You poop there. Okay. But yeah, no, I definitely watch gaming channels, and I have for a while. Like, even before like gaming channels were a thing, like I watched Angry Video Game Nerd all the
old
flipping
school.
time.
See, I don't consider him a gaming
like,
channel though. I consider
But when
him gaming
you're watching
content.
him rage
He's a
game,
creator.
Yeah.
you're watching him rage game. Like, I mean, there are, and that's what I mean by it. It depends on the game and the commentator. If it's a game that you have played and a commentator whose opinions you're interested in hearing, then it's a lot easier to watch than say you're tuning into random PewDiePie vid of a game you've never played and you don't know what's
You
going on.
never know what's gonna hit. Like I've considered, and you've done it a little bit. You've done it a little bit. I've considered, yeah, maybe I'll just film myself doing some gaming to see how it hits. Like I wouldn't watch me, but maybe there's other people that would watch me play video games. You never know.
Well, I think when it's a throwaway thought like that, I think you don't see it work out as much. Like, I think the reason it works for people like Toby is he's so ADD that he can keep you interested in a 10-minute cut. But once again, I will watch like one of the like Toby game highlights, and I'll be like, oh, sing a song about Minecraft, yay! And I'm into it. But I mean, what I think is like, it's stupid when people hate specifically on that content because they're like, it's so easy. I'm like, vlogging, other than like doing it every day and then having to edit it yourself, like it's pretty easy. Like, you get to just be yourself, and it can be exhausting, but I don't know.
Like I'm saying, I don't understand it, but I understand it.
I mean, 45 million views a week for Pootie. He's
crazy.
doing something right.
Yep.
Well, and yeah, I think any of that content is better, whether it's vlogging or gaming channel, is better when planned out.
Yeah.
Like you said, like you kind of have an idea in mind. I would say if that's your channel that you do for a living, it's probably not just, I'm going to sit down and do something random today. That one.
Yeah,
and
well,
just go with it.
I bet you there's more random in it than than you believe.
I think there's a
Really?
good number of random, but I was listening to a talk Pootie gave, I forget where, but he was talking about like sometimes a video, it's like kind of the same deal, I feel like for me, but on a whole different level because he has to just trash stuff. Like he'll play for 1 hour and just actually have it, or sometimes he has to do like 6-8 hour
Different takes and stuff.
Well, yeah, just trying again.
We had that happen here. Meg and I were trying to play a scary game, like to make it be funny, and we played it for 3 hours and nothing scary happened. And we were like, this is the worst scary gaming thing we've ever done.
So they just watched The Exorcist, but they were holding controllers.
We have I'm Swedish saying, what fictional character would you want by your side in a real-life horror movie? My answer for everything is always David Tennant / the Doctor, because when everyone's like, that episode of Doctor Who was so scary, I'm like, bitch, that wasn't scary. It was a good episode, but I wasn't like, ooh, I'm actually scared.
just get in the TARDIS and run away.
No, but sometimes the TARDIS has feelings and like disappears for a while because it's a perfect plot device.
Your life isn't necessarily going to be better when you're traveling with the Doctor, but it'll be interesting. But here's the chance, though. That's not like a free pass. You could end up in a parallel dimension with your formerly dead dad living the rest of your life. So it's not necessarily the best choice, but it's a good choice.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at like all the companions, I mean, not all the companions, a lot of the companions end up somewhere that is not the best
Not
thing.
the best.
Exactly.
Or, you know, sometimes it does work out. Like, you know, maybe it's okay going back in time and being stuck with someone.
I like when you get a new companion in the series and they're like, can you promise this? And he's always like, nope. Can't promise you safety. Can't promise you anything. Really, you down?
That sounds exciting. I'm really bored with my life.
And I think
Exactly.
my new stock answer for these type of questions is easily always going to be the genie from Aladdin.
That's a good
I get out
one.
of the horror situation with one wish, and then I got 2 wishes left, and then I got this silly sidekick singing songs and shit. It's the best
Wait.
answer ever.
Wait, 2 more wishes. You're not gonna free him?
Fuck no, dude.
Joe!
No, that's my wish.
Free that genie.
That's my wish.
I'll give you the lamp
You
afterwards.
free that genie. My first thought was I would like Arnold Schwarzenegger from The Predator. Because he's big and scary and nobody messing with that. And I'm little. And
Nobody messing with that.
one thing that I lack being a little lady is being big and scary. So I would like that in my life.
I'm gonna rewind back to I will free him, but here's why. Not because you guys convinced me, but you did remind me that once you do free him, he still hangs out with you and
Yeah.
still does cool magic stuff.
Yes,
So
he
that's
does.
cool. But his voice changes and he's not Robin Williams for a year. But then he
he's
comes
not
back
quite
and then
as
he's
funny, but
Robin
then he gets
Williams
it back,
again.
yeah.
Cool. Dig in. By the way, they never refer to Arnold Schwarzenegger again after that movie, so he probably died due to that explosion.
He did not die. I
Or
don't
died
believe that he
alone in the
died.
jungle of starvation.
I don't
Or
believe
became
that he
governor.
died. I don't believe it. Okay. At Diane Ya, Mel Diane says, if you had a Mary Poppins type endless bag, what are 3 random things that would be in your bag?
A genie lamp, David Tennant, and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
3 random things that you could always have. I'd always have a big trampoline. That seems like it'd be awesome.
Ooh.
That's not even a joke to me. Like when I
Yeah.
have a backyard again, I will have a trampoline.
Wait,
again.
have you guys ever had a big trampoline?
Yeah. It's a necessity in my life when I'm allowed to have it. I love trampolines.
Really?
I've never owned one myself, but I had a neighbor, and the day that I was like, oh, I'm going to be sad for the rest of my life, I accidentally hurt said neighbor's child on the trampoline, and then you're not allowed to come back to that house.
I had a friend that made you sign. This is way back in the early 90s. Our parents made us sign contracts when we jumped on the trampoline.
I'm gonna do
That was my house.
I'm
That was
doing
my
that.
house. We got a trampoline, and my mom said anyone that comes over, no flips, no up. Like my
No
mom.
fun.
Yeah, my mom was like, and no 2 people at a time, because
What?
no 2 people at a
that's
time, because you know how you launch each other. Well, of course, I mean we did it
Yeah.
anyway. Sorry, mom, but those were the rules. No flips, no 2 people at a time, no people like sitting. Oh, you had to sit on the edge, on like the colored part on the edge
Yeah.
while someone else was jumping. You couldn't
It
be
sucks.
touching the
It
block.
sucks that we live in a place and a time where like you have to have people sign contracts.
Yeah.
Children sign.
Yeah, and their parents, and like just so you're fucking covered because I slipped in here, and all of a sudden now my son's stupid.
Well, kids are dumb. Sons and daughters are
That's true.
stupid.
The funny thing about our trampoline was that we got it when my sister and I were pretty young, like pre-puberty. That's
good parenting.
And
Good
then
parenting.
my dad was always like, when we got this trampoline, I had no idea I'd have 2 daughters with huge chests. Because like we got older and we'd just be on the trampoline all the time, and like trucks would drive by and be like honk honk. And we thought it was hilarious.
Just accidents for days. Just,
Were you guys living right next to a shipping route? And all these semis are just like, womp.
It was hilarious. But all I thought is, oh, poor Daddy.
And how old were you though?
How old was I when Daddy made that comment, or when we got the trampoline?
When you were.
How about when Daddy made the comment?
When Daddy made the comment, we were probably 21 and 16.
Oh, okay. Well, good to know you didn't let that child inside you die.
Oh no! If it was still there, I mean, they sold the trampoline out. But if it was still there,
I used friends' trampolines growing up. Didn't have my own, but as soon as I had a backyard up in Spokane, Washington, where we were living, when Hayden was like 1, and I had the opportunity to buy one, I bought one for my son. I didn't buy it for her. I bought it for me at 27, and it was the greatest.
I convinced my parents to get it because I was in a cheerleading, and I was like, well, I'm the flyer, and I have to learn how to do all my flips in the air and stuff for flying, so this is cheerleading practice.
Super dangerous. You guys almost ever really get hurt on one?
I've launched off of one and landed in grass.
Yeah, I've seen that happen tons of times.
I've launched while doing a flip and landed on my back on the grass.
Oh!
We used to jump off my friend's roof onto it. And then did that, and instead of landing on my butt, I did something stupid, and I got launched after hitting it, and it was a straightforward, like, fast launch, and my leg went down between the springs.
Oh, that's the worst. That's when you really hurt yourself.
And I went over the side of it.
Did you break your leg?
My leg bent backwards, and then bent me back and flew me back up.
Holy shit.
Walked away from that.
What?
I feel like if you had been born later, we would have seen you in like a fail compilation.
Probably.
Like just.
If we were filming it all, or
there
an
would've
awesome
been.
compilation. Third one is with my trampoline that I bought at home. A couple years ago, it was after a rainstorm, and they get really heavy.
Okay.
And I would just like need to go vent or just have like 10 minutes of just being outside. So I'd just go out and I'd jump and do flips for 10 minutes. And it was after a rainstorm, and I did a really big jump and was doing a flip, and it came off of its supports. So in midair, I'm doing a backflip, and I look down and I see the trampoline rise, half of it fall to the ground. I land on it perfectly in the center and roll down and land in the grass unscathed.
Wow.
It was the best.
And on this
Scariest,
episode of
'cause
Joe
I was
Almost
upside
Dies.
Down.
Yeah, right?
Upside down, and I see it go, dunk, and I'm, fuck. 10.
You're the Impossible Joe. If you were on Doctor Who, there'd be an episode called The Impossible Joe. There's so many times you should have died, but then like something happened and saved you.
Another quick tangent on what we're talking about. Doctor Who, because I've only gotten into it recently. I'm in like season 3 now.
Of the new
They
stuff.
are very liberal about just killing things off in that show. Random people, main characters, just everything. It's just boom, that guy's dead. Boom. It's not like that in other shows. In other, like even Star Trek and stuff, people aren't dying left and right.
That's part
In
of why
Doctor
Doctor Who's so cool.
People are dying all the time.
People
Love
die
it.
all the time in Game of
good.
Thrones too, and that's a very popular show. Popular shows kill your people.
I guess let's move on. We're going to totally neglect the other two things in that bag.
In the Mary Poppins bag.
Just a bunch of trampolines.
Well, this will be fun. I don't know. Do you, R. Shane L91 says, do you think people are born inherently good or evil, or are they molded throughout life?
No, I think people are. I think they're born for the most part with a blank slate. Oh no, you keep missing.
Right. I don't know what's going on.
Missing.
So you think it's soul conditioning?
I think it's mostly conditioning. I mean,
Nurture's the biggest part.
Yeah, I think there's a conversation to be had about being maybe predisposed for certain things. Like I believe that people are born gay. I think that you know there's the whole conversation of sociopaths. So like their brain works different. But for the most part, I think people 90% of the time are molded by their surroundings.
I think environment and nurturing is the biggest part of it, but I also think if that wasn't present, I think the need to survive, the human instinct of making it as far through life as you can and then creating more to follow you and creating this bloodline, that leads to evil, which what I mean by that is to survive, you do what you can to survive.
Oh, yeah.
You eat the thing before the other person. You get it out of your way. If you feel threatened, you kill it. But because of nurturing, we suppress that a little bit, and we turn that into more of an intelligent way to survive. But it's that whole thing that I've talked about before. When you're young, that you have this natural tendency towards aggression, because aggression allows you to see change in the world. You hurt something, you break something, you cause and affect the world to make you feel like you're alive. And I feel like the nurture side, the nurturing, the 90% that you're talking about, is what turns us from that natural evil. It's not a real evil. It's not like a need
it's
to
a survival of the fittest. I mean,
right.
the reason we talk about like if there's a massive earthquake, everyone's gonna just start like stealing and murdering each other is because it's like, oh, I'm not gonna be controlled by society, and I also need to survive.
Yeah.
Like, how can I?
But then you also see things like the reaction to the Boston Marathon bombings with just hordes of people running towards
To
the
help people,
explosion to
but-
help people.
Right, and so I think we're not saying I think that people are inherently like me, but in a situation where in a situation that is different than that, I think you're going to see a lot of people worrying about number one.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's kind of the definition, at least when you, for Dungeons and Dragons, when you define good versus evil for a character, evil is all about me and good is all about others. And that's how it's defined, which kind of puts an interesting spin on it. But yeah, so then, I mean, do you think, are people genuinely, as little kids, me first?
Little kids, for the most part, yeah.
For the most part, yeah.
I was like, I'm going to look to Joe on this one.
Yeah, no,
'cause
and I
know.
don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a natural thing, and then and I don't think it's 100% across the board because there are some like really just like giving kids that I've met, but it's not their fault. It's just the way you're wired.
Well,
it's
and
a survival thing.
That's the interesting thing about defining character alignments as, good being for others and evil being for me, because you could have an evil character that's a pretty genuinely nice guy or a nice lady, but that just always, if there's a decision, if it's going to be for me or for other people, it's for me.
I've always thought of selfish as it's not necessarily been all about me. I was actually raised for the most part. My dad was always like, number one comes first. Like you come first. That's how you survive in this world. But I think through like growing, I think of me as me and mine. Right, so it's family and close friends that are essentially family. That's like when we're on like Breaking Bad, Broken Down, and I'm like, no, you don't rat on Walt, like, because it's like it's this loyalty thing, like someone did bad, we're in it together. It's that sort of thing. So I guess in that game, I would still, I don't know. I think I'm more in Dungeons and Dragons. I think I'd be more neutral. What's the other thing?
Lawful or chaotic?
Oh. Lawful.
So lawful just means you like order. Chaotic means you like spontaneity.
All right. So anyway.
Yeah.
So you would.
There's a third
pick,
thing, I think.
Well, neutral just means that you're neither lawful nor chaotic, or you could use neutral as your second part of the alignment. And you're neither good nor evil.
Neutral.
You can't be true neutral.
True neutral.
New question.
You can't be. Do you want to take this one, Phil? You haven't picked one yet, have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
You already forgot.
I'm sorry. Okay.
I forgot the question we were answering. That's why
It's
I was
about
like,
good or evil. I'm trying to decide what my final answer is. I don't think we are inherently evil, but we are inherently needing to survive.
Yeah, you know what? I think whether it's good or evil, sexuality, anything, I think it's more of like there is a board, right? And you could say good or evil. Maybe we lean more towards.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a bell curve involved.
Doesn't matter. In the end, we're just some guy's dream.
I think that I
was like,
lean
what are you
towards.
I was like, why did they let that go?
That's true. We're all in a big snow globe, right? Yeah. That's what's happening. No, I think people are inherently good, and I would say that some people would try to nurture and help others for survival because then you have a team behind you. That's a thing too. Okay, at Abraham Russo says, Iron Man versus Batman, don't just say a character because they're your favorite, think if it happened for real.
Two rich dudes that play with toys, which toy wins?
Well, Iron Man is a little more techie, so I think I'm going to go with that.
You think Iron Man? Well, he's more like robotic techie. I wouldn't say he's more techie than Batman.
I think Iron Man's inventions.
Really? Do you talk about the Batcopter, the Batmobile? We're talking the Batplane.
Those are vehicles and stuff.
They're still
like
tech.
that's tech we have
it's
now.
a robot.
So it's a
Iron
question.
Man has
though.
like future tech that I can't even begin to wrap my brain around.
So there's a question, right? Because Batman has this whole group of people that made this shit for like that's top secret. But Tony Stark
makes it himself.
Probably owns it.
Well, no, he rocks it himself.
Yeah.
Like so is it more about the team or is it more about the genius that because Batman's he's like kind of smart, but like Tony Stark's super smart.
That's Tony. My lady boner is for the smart dudes, so I'm going Iron Man.
Plus, he's not all like, wow, my parents died.
It's more like, wow, I'm drunk and I'm dying.
I'm drunk, I'm an alcoholic. It was downplayed in the third movie how weird it is that I'm an
Disney
alcoholic.
wouldn't let us show him that he was an alcoholic because it wouldn't be a good role model thing, but we totally showed him kill people.
I mean, we tried to
Just
skirt
straight
around
up
it.
gun.
Elliot.
Oh, that's a thing too. Batman, he's a huge flaccid penis when it comes to killing people.
No,
So
don't say that. He has a no-kill
Iron
policy.
Man
It's
or Batman?
admirable.
Batman.
no, it's not.
But why? Why is Batman
gets
the
him into
superior
trouble sometimes,
rich
but-
guy that plays with toys?
Because I think vengeance gives you that, like...
But he won't kill.
Yeah, but I think the motivating factor being vengeance is more compelling than like the motivating factor being like I'm awesome. Like
I'm awesome. I feel like it's a great reason to be a superhero. I think that's great.
I wonder if they fought. I don't know. I wonder if they've had like a story arc in the comic where those two have just battled it out, because it would be interesting. They both do gadgets. They both are super smartish.
If you're crossing some universe.
Yeah, it'd be fun. I'd like to see his toys versus
universe
his toys.
here.
It'd be cool.
Nope.
It'd be fun.
It could happen.
So, okay, wait.
There are many video games where it happens.
And then it comes into, well, what if it turns into a bigger fight? Like, who's Batman got on his side and who's Tony Stark got on his side?
My head naturally goes to DC versus Marvel.
I don't know.
I'm like,
I don't know that
we got
that's what
Robin
it would be.
versus Pepper.
Oh my God. That's going to be Tony Stark's ultimate downfall. She's going to be like, Tony! He's going to be like,
Wait,
what?
Does Pepper have a suit, though? Does she have an Iron Man suit?
She got a birthday suit. I think she's so hot in those movies.
Really?
Yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow so does it for me in the Iron Man.
Really?
I don't know why.
Not for me.
She never
You're
did it
into
for me
it.
before, but hold on, she's.
Really? Pepper
Man.
Potts?
Yeah.
Let's say last one.
Loving it. Joe loves the pepper.
The Pepper Potts. I'm a little horse. If you were in the movie Castaway in the place of Tom Hanks, which inanimate object would you befriend? No, you cannot pick Wilson.
I'm gonna take my genie lamp.
I'm gonna befriend a knife named Tony and kill myself.
Oh boy, you wouldn't first use that knife to maybe like whittle some sticks, maybe make a raft.
Fire.
Philip DeFranco was found 12 hours after his plane crashed. Unfortunately, he killed himself.
He did whittle some sticks, but all he did was spell out "gave up" on the beach.
Straight up gave up on life.
Just 12 hours in.
Yeah, I would take a raft.
Wait, it's not what you would take with you. It's what you would
Inanimate
befriend.
object.
Yeah, I would befriend the hell out of a boat.
I befriend a helicopter and his friend
something on the
unlimited
island.
gas.
Something on the island, naturally occurring on the island. What
Like
would you
a
befriend?
volleyball.
Okay, I guess that's a fair retort.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, because he got Wilson from the volleyball tree.
Yeah.
Shut up,
Right
guys.
next. It was right next to the ice skate shoe bush. By the way, that scene
swear
is
to
so
God,
brutal.
I'm a
where he's
natural
got to take
brunette.
his tooth out with the ice skate.
Oh, I thought you were saying
Oof.
when he lost Wilson. I was like, yeah, my heart broke
It's a
too.
little sad. There's some massive sad parts when he goes home
Massive sad
to his
parts.
lady and she's not the kiss in
Yeah.
the rain. Oh man.
But it's like you get it. You're like, I get it.
She moved on.
That's what happens.
That kind of made me sad because I understand that that's reality, but I don't go to the movies to see reality. I want to see the Romeo and Juliet Love Never Dies stuff.
No, but I
No,
love
you
it.
go to see some real life. You go to see
Yeah.
you feel that emotion.
I get plenty of real life in my real life.
That's like-
I
that's
want
like real
nice
life.
things in my
boring
fantasy.
real
I want
life.
nice
Ooh.
things in my fantasy, please.
And Tom Hanks isn't in your real life, so go to the movies.
Well, no, I mean I wanted a happy ending. Is that so wrong?
It was happy.
It was happy.
He gets to survive. She's with a guy that, unlike in some like movie where everything's happy,
he-
like he beats her. He's just been beating her the entire
And
time.
he finds
that
random
he's
like
been gone.
hot chick delivery box girl that lives out in the desert.
Yeah.
No, well maybe that saved it a little.
That saved a little.
Every time I come to like crossroads that are out in the middle of nowhere, there's a lot of them in California, next to highways like it is in that scene. I'm like, this is where they filmed it.
This is where they did it.
Wrong
That's
every
perfect.
time.
I think that's a perfect note to go out on.
This is where they filmed it.
What would your inanimate object be if you were on an island? Also, what were the
Yeah.
other questions? There's
Batman versus Iron Man. What
that was a
is,
good one,
Who
too.
would be your horror movie buddy?
What horror stories on a trampoline do you have?
And horror stories on trampolines. That's
horror stories.
Horror stories on trampolines is a whole nother discussion.
That sounds like a better
Friends.
video.
Trisha's
Sorry,
dad
we
closes the curtain and does not watch his daughter.
No, I never did anything wrong on that trampoline. I mean that. Girl Scouts honor. Girl Scouts.
Girl Scout?
Fingers?
I
Is
don't
it
know.
3? 2 or 3?
I don't know, how
I'm
many-
reading Hunger Games now, so I'm thinking 3, but
See that whole sense of thinking is weird. Like, as a father, do you hope that your daughter is not super attractive?
Oh, I'm hoping Hayden goes through like an awkward phase from like 12 to 32.
I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, what would that be like? Like, if you have a girl, like, would you just hate like good things for her?
Yeah, I know, right?
That's
I don't
terrible.
want to wish the worst, but
Which is the worst? That terrible disfigurement. Is that a word that I just said?
disfigurement.
Why not? My name's been Philip DeFranco.
It's been
occasionally, occasionally from time to
tomorrow
time.
it'll be Thomas Ackerman.
You just jerk it all over the table.
No, it was a funny pound on the. Why does it have have to be a dick?
You'll see. There was a curve to it and everything.
But that's a huge one, lordy.
That's a nature versus nurture
Good
thing.
job.
Trisha
My
Hirschberger,
goodness.
Joe Beretta. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.